basazi na mbali nkubaliza RTV UBC mbeni sawa msikiwa simali nkajen ijo toleke TV ejo erabe roba jiroli wakubala TV byokubaza byona bikwani bikanka oma president toleke TV ejo eraba ne yoleka
njagera maiso nokusaba kwangi nti mtu feoga muno naite once in a while nimtekaniriza ku hostinga National Celebration Days nkahandi hona kiba nuko naite tusemererwe kwa muzei mwe tate waitu tulibayijuku pasente ni yona yokora yona bali bayijuku ba muzei kandi nkwashuwaringa ntingoburu tujya kurumwa finally njakumaliriza ningaka kusima His Excellency the President of Uganda at the same time chairperson NIRA mpate ntingu omubyakozere byona ayatwe tusimire a project ya PDM na mberi esente amazima mazgali ntingu zibeinizikira omuntu wa hansi esente zikire directly hansi atali nka project zindi na mberi bantu bafunwa mu buzwa busibwa so nkimusimira muno habwekyo tukumugonza na karutu muine 2026 ibigamenge bitaitebyo kamba gondeze hoyo kansime abanyabulisa nkubasima for your patience mwikairo cyali mwebare kukolekya engonzi kugumisiriza habo kuba mukukiende ikintu kyanyu tiniko movement hoye muzei hoye muhozi kaina rugaba juu Uganda na chi mwebare muno kama bayinji
gatugende mwa governor wa district ya Bulisa mumuterere mungaro governor waitu muterere baba waitu mungaro kale chairman LC5
NRM oye Museveni oye Moze oye Barugara oye Lukumo oye Nora oye Arana oye Bulisa oye Wakitinisa Minister Honorable Barugara Balamu tukutangiriro kuiza muulisia webale kuiza koramukia abantu babulisia kandi bantu babulisia bendia hoiraha ate wedede bakwegiri olumudulo waraha webale kutola raha masindi okagileta derulisia liso webale hoi wawa halana wasakaze wakona wawa mudisiko yatumukwegonza uire babukesi ambe kandi wakwendya kubukesia kandi okubaterera bakome General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni osasiri gahiru bantu baulisia kuruka wodi bamukomiri wodi otoroho yoyo asabara kwebera wetu bantu baulisia bamwendi ahoi kandi wakitinisa minister gigibiso haha tule hatati mo NRM struggle gichala historical hawa kuba haha ulemo wabero hunyamano hoi wiso ha kyokyo kuona secondary school ya government haha ginyakuimbwa wageta biso war memorial secondary school na kigendererwa kandi liwara ayalitongoze ibareri akawakitinisa General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni oyali mu ruhungo rwe kandi esomoreno akagikoraho UPDF ekombe laboratory ekakora bintu yamani muno mukwimika somereno oyireho yo abantu babiso benda special treatment biso Bulisa district gichala na special position kandi historical muku coveringa mukavaraje yobule munu wa NRM Liberation War biso ekatekinga a very special position na NRM ule nekiala NRA na kiumu ya fayo watu kikuru mubiona biso esagika muno biso gisagika hoi President Museveni. Kandi Viso is cosmopolitan. It is not only Bagungu here. There is a very cordial coexistence between the Bagungu community and other communities, especially the Alur. Biso eni utie pacho mudiko sur matong cheka kaikwano ke dano maenizo gimari gibedo maber Alur kumagungu giche umego kunyumego jadit
Chairman mumuterere mungaro. Chairman agenda garuka tubaze kandi kabaza we MP daka ibiri.
Afoye ucheka bibino ni.
Engero za chairman.
Mwale muna.
Museveni oye! Museveni oye! NRM oye! Flag bearers oye! Bantu ba Bulisa nkwenda kubasima. Mwebale kwiza kutangira bakiriza president. Mukaenda president kandi kutangira kutinisa minister wetu wabayamenyeto nabana. Kikiro kili kyabaganiza hoyi. Ngo president yatumiri minister kwiza kuongera kujugumbya programs za government mubamenyeto ba Bulisa. Nkwenda kwa bigambo bebe. Biro 17 gwa musanjo NLM as a party yachwiri muona kama flag bearers bachi. Yangali yensenya banya Uganda bachwamo na Bulisa abantu bachwamo na ngo flag bearers bo baba nkubasaba tugene imeiso as NLM party tukome waike Yoweri Museveni as a flag bearer for NRM. Kandi tukome na flag bearers bensenya bamwachiri mwana kubani mukoma hawa kuba batutweri mu tribunal magira ngutu ebiri karuru betukan NRM tribunal gyako bang Honorable Alan, Honorable Birgirwa, Honorable Fred baba korikiani batungiri jenu flags twakabatu agenda in the spirit of the party nkubasaba kuruga LSU1 pa kwa president leka tukobe flag bearers hawa kuba montu anamutima gwa NRM aseme a respecting bikorwa nabigaro ya NRM ngo asakike yoguo munyakutunga flag hawa NRM tugene meiso sayike NRM sayika President Museveni kana bo bensenya munyakutunga flag NRM oye NRM oye Museveni oye Minister warugo hire for youth and elders hey mwebana hoye mawadamane.
Aha. NRM oye! NRM oye! Museveni oye! Kyaliki oye! Barugara oye! MK oye! Mwebale hoye nywese kuiza. Hey, boy oye! Boy oye! Kecheri kakodio kusembia yo boy! Mabarala na Tugonza, Member of Parliament wa Ulisia, Kianangango, Flag bearer wa NRM kuwa MP, Chairman NRM Bulisa District. Mwebale hoi ngonzi, mwebale kwendi NRM. Mwebale kutuendia. Mwebale kutuaururu mune ne yatiyo. Banya Ulisia mwebale. Ulisia oye. Nkwenda kusima Honorable Minister kuiza Mulisia kuleta program ya Wake Up Youth banyaminyeto bakumbwera hansunza kozibazo banyaminyeto kubaletra gege program na following up program za government webale hoyi because kikyo kile kintu kihandu dekyo kibandize Minister wa youth kuiza following center za youth monitoring and evaluation kuona bazi kwete moro ndi kwae mugenda kutunga wire mesa au kuiza kuwera minister sente zenyu zaba bakoze ba koronge rondike bezewe mu kufesinga bekutokera unene tubibalize Ulisia problem zenyu na ma reports twagatonga betu byakuba wera samari gya wereryo bizubicheri kudi bezebo bya itaka kizokia bisolo kizibukia rugudo biso masende byensenya tuyibaziri mutabona tabazira awawire betu kwenda tubahe klikiro kiyenyu baminyeto musore kubaza kiro kya dero kinyegiri minister yabawereri haliyo nyama kinyegiri bali mkutimba abantu handi kwako Bulisa oye yusi oye minister yaulire mwezire na kamulale na usalo wa meno mwezire nawo mwalu wetina kamulale monsao mwalu wetina gyo mwevale mubike kamulale genyu koronge
youth leader Linka.
Youth leader.
Where's the youth leader? You come and speak in 2 minutes before they switch off.
Oh.
Yeah, we have a live broadcast.
Live broadcast. Oh, hello, live broadcast. Ku Ubc bakutuona sigiense. Tuwe yusi mugisadara mukyo abantu. Mwebale hoy.
Kantu walego mugisa kutangera abantu bensenya bezirikiro kya dero. Kandi kantu wali umugisa gwo gumwenya kantangere minister wetu abyamenyeto akubaki kiro kyetu mabaragange banza tabuinza Sharif yaga chairperson wa bayusi ron chairperson wa bamenyeto Bulisa district so awa kagisaka kaka bamperi nsonga zinene z'abamenyeto tuziba ziroze ndizidolidoli ntole bakobiri nkoreselo jongo. At this juncture, let me take this opportunity to welcome our Honorable Minister, Balam Barugara, at the Bishop Playgrounds. My name is Sharif Boyenza. At this juncture, I just want to greet all the youth of Bulisa, and at the same let me use this opportunity that the Bishop borders, sent their message through me to the minister.
Arota unikilako ba meya wanu baro ababiso. Alinka kumwetaga alinka. Meyo wata unikilaka wabisa alinka.
Honorable Minister twina na
RCC nkwetaga meya
RCC White Hana
RDC
RCC on
Owaside Godwin
na wetu mukoleki
Godwin jora mchabana
aramukia abantu bamrecognize
town clerk abachara bano mwijano ba madam ijano maze mwijano abachara bano abakutunde byenyanja bagambire abantu bempoza bakubasera muno empoza ali town kiraka nkusaba bano bakatunga milioni emu ya PDM tukubatwara nkabanaku abantu bano obenoza sura empoza yazinga teka microphone mukazo gwabazi ozasura empoza yazinga
Renmol war silingel apara bish reko biru kode saku wa mitu poza jongaliwa moza eberiyo enenwa nena alakini go wat kama moza we kwa mondo redberi amitu silingel pirario nango kinyo renmi silingel apara bish kayero yanya moza inonge wekira akelwar e what I
agomazima abantu abo kubasera sente adi sente zira kubasaba mbiulire sente za kubasaba sente nyingi kandi bano bakazi banaku bafera kati bakafera basajja babu ati nkusaba town clerk ogende mu kanso ogamba abantu bano babasalira iwe gamba obeno gamba ki
kunyinga tia rombra chariot rangera kunyinga mama galfish kawoni lempa poza darusaga kwenda paratero le bajutela mwakadi mukuralani debedu tiateri bange wala lembe daru voyowa kawoni wa mako PDM nyama ko konyo Museveni konyo wa miyo mama bero geno nyabi konyo wa resende na zobishile bapoza donc akelo dual para nyaya imabi kwayu abi kwayu kumai kwenda pare mako shidbiri office poza eni one wa big bolo vote the one rengati mi district mi oi mare mulu nyo poza mi biso jukwa mi biso juro la nyope
ati bazo linde ijam linda bagambire linda ogambire bakubaye empoza za mirunde inga
agambire ekizubu kikumubihiza katali kaitu kaikara hano baito osanga muntu atwara katali hano aruga hoyima hano bantu bakasa kupangiza katali ako tibaloho ekyo kikumuluma ekyo
Kande-
abakuba bahali bamanyira bujuliwa
kandi ekindi kiki empoza yazinga
aha ole agambira empoza bakugula ensamaki za mutwaro 10 kyokka bakwika mu katale bagamba mutwaro 2
kale ati kurugana leero ne basasula emitwaro 2 ate basasula omutwaro 1 abwa Museveni paka akalulu kakozere ki
kahoye
deni na kanse ikale ekolero kanse ekole review ya tende ejo ababulisa mukusala ku running atenda yanyu ya bulisa mu running ababiso bakuba baroba invest bakuteka mu sente bagitekemu tuleke kurwana ebitali mu ebyo
honorable minister bagambira ensamaki zino bazikuhereza ogende nazo kulya mukana baana baawe
eje ba bribe nyeka ambaye capital kamongerere mu capital baiti nkwija kulala byabo na nyenja kuba kabala bakutwala empoza nkoingaire mu capital ejo capital ya Museveni tisora kutwala ebyanyu baiti nyeka ambaye capital
I think
apana timbitwala nyoy
kina
Mwebale muno.
honorable minister gyonsonga yamaani muno okurora kuruga mu bantu kubagresivingire mwireyo kubagresivingire kintu kyamaani kitwina akoraho abokuba bakazi bano babatwara no munkomo so we have to deal with that issue.
Town clerk banzo we town clerk angambire ntawulire bye mugambire abakazi abanaku tosobola kugamba nti omuntu aina kamyu mukamanyira kamyu kando kamwiyawo ente oina kamyu ati woraba nomuya emitwalo 2 n'emitwalo 10 akatunga milioni 1 n'omutwalo 2 agenda kwetoolera emyezi 5 ziweiro tunuko abantu ba Museveni mutabamiga kale tugambire
amuhando honorable minister gere kantwalo gumugisa kutangira biso tano kanso gyabanze tabusinge Godfrey ndi town clerk wa biso tano kanso kwenda kutandika na kumanyisa abantu bense bintu bya utale kutunda utale batondera ha district batondera kwa biso town kanso kandi kutunda utale bakora advert Uganda ginse mutale competent neza nagola katale so nani kwenda kubera abantu kandi katubentu kwende muntu wa baba muleke mbere mo
kale mulindo lindo ono town clerk kamugambire town clerk ono oba meya wa town ya Nyogo mumugambire ninyo babosi be mumugambire ninyo boa ati nye babosi muramugamba nyanja tatamu office takuja kora ki ataba kwate kurungi kandi akwate kurungi abantu ba Museveni ezo sente ziba kutwara mu bantu inywe sente za Museveni akaba kuruga mu bunaku akaba mitwaro milioni 1 muruga muki ati wenda abana emitwaro 10 okasaba emitwaro 2 nkagenda akasuburo kanyawo emitwaro 2 milioni 1 okulya round 1 okulya emitwaro 2 tunuko wiki emusente zikozereki ati jakombeka enkomo nkoto tubasibe kandi bano bazirire hata unikilaka nkwetago bagambira abantu togenda kugaruka mu kuseera abantu ojja kuwasaba mutwaro
mwegwe mbasowere winja ayero akorulembe mabere winja mabere taunikilaka atwala kwa muntu ondiyense sente taunikilaka ya guru kwa ikatale muhendu myako hoza katali mikoro kwa itanu kanso mikoro district atigia
mwebale hoi byo tugenda bimala
ati
tugenda
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Nkwaniriza UBC TV amawulire ga UBC Leero nga bulijjo tuba tukuteekedde bingi byetasaanye kusubwa. Nze Shaidat Nasaku ne Elizabeth Nakakoni ku lwa bannaffe abakozesa obubonero. Ennaku z'omwezi katubala 16 omwezi tutambuza gwa mwenda ate omwaka tuli mu 2025. Nga bulijjo tugenda sooka tukuloze ku ebyo bikoze amakulu oluvannyuma tugakuwe mu bujjuvu. Ebiwaayi bya DP bikonaganidde ku kitebe ky'ebyokulonda. Pulezidenti wa DP Mao akakasiza nga bwagenda okuvuganya ku bukulembeze bw'eggwanga. Palamenti bakyawuniikiridde olw'akatambi ka BBC ak'okukusa abawala bannayuganda mu kwetunda. So nga ate abeesenza mu lutobazi lw'omugga Kacheera e Rakai basenguddwa. Eyo ebadde endozo tubadde tukulozaako obuloza gano ge mawulire gaffe mu bujjuvu nateera nkwaniriza UBC TV. Kale tutandise n'omukulembeze w'eggwanga Pulezidenti Yoweri Kaguta Museveni asinkanye omukama owa Toro oyo Nnyimba Kabamba Iguru Rukidi owokuna n'abamuwerekeddeko okuva mu bukama bwa Toro. Bano banjulidde omukulembeze w'eggwanga enteekateeka ez'okutumbula naddala abavubuka mu bukama obwo era omuhikira waabwe Romire n'annyonnyola bye bagenda okukola mu masaza omwenda ge balina omuli okusimba emisiri gy'endokwa z'emmwanyi, kokowa, amayululizo g'enkoko n'ebirala. Ono era ategeezezza nga bwe beetaaga ensimbi obuwumbi 4 mu obukadde 600 okutandika ku pulojekiti eyo. Nnyina omukama Best Kemigisa yagenda okutembeeta pulogulaamu eyo n'okukulemberamu ekyokunga abantu okugyeyunira. Pulezidenti Museveni ayaniriza enteekateeka eyo naddala ey'emmwanyi n'agamba nti etambulira wamu n'enteekateeka za gavumenti okugaziya ebyobulimi ebivaamu ensimbi okuyita mu nkola ya PDM. Agambye nti olw'okubanga endokwa za buseere eri omuntu wa bulijjo obukama busobola okuzifuna okuva mu bitongole bya gavumenti olwo balyoke bazigabira abantu abeetegese obulungi. Kakati abakulembeze bamusaayi muto abasoba mu 8 okwetooloola eggwanga babanguddwa ku ngeri gye basobola okubukanyaamu emirembe mu biseera ebyakalulu ng'eggwanga lyeteekerawo okulonda kwa 2026. Okubangulwa kuno nga kuteekeddwa aba United Nations African Institute for the Prevention of Crime and the Treatment of Offenders. Essira balitadde kubangula beetabyemu ku bukodyo obusobola okukozesebwa okutangira obusambattuko n'okukoonagana mu kiseera kino nga buli omu asikaza wuwe.
Okulonda okuzze kubeerawo mu ggwanga kwetobekamu obusambattuko ku mitendera egy'enjawulo oluusi n'okubbira obululu. Emirundi egisinga bamusaayi muto naddala abakulembeze be basinga okubeera wakati w'emivuyo egyo.
Tulabye nti abavubuka be batera okwenyigira mu bikolwa ebyakatabanguko ebyakacyankalano oba mu kulwanagana n'ab'ebitongole by'okwerinda ne tugamba ne tubakubiriza nti baleme kukozesebwa. Waliwo bannakigwanyizi ababakozesa okubateeka mu bintu ebyo ebyokulwanagana n'ab'ebitongole by'okwerinda ebyokuleetawo okwonoona ebintu bizinesi z'abantu.
Wabula okugezaako okutangira emivuyo n'obusambattuko ekika ekyo okubeera mu kulonda okwa 2026 okutegekebwa, bannabyabufuzi bakubiziddwa okwewala okuyingiza abavubuka olw'ebigendererwa byabwe wabula babayamba okubateerawo emirimu okutereeza embeera mwe bawangaalira.
Ku ggwanga lyammwe mulina kye musobola okukolako ekizimba eggwanga naye si kwenyigira mu mivuyo, si kwenyigira mu kulwanagana, si kwenyigira mu kwonoona ebintu oba bizinesi z'abantu. Eki twagala benyigire babeere mu kaweefube ono tulabe nti eggwanga lyaffe yadde tugenda mu kulonda ku mwaka 2026 nti akalulu kabeeremu k'emirembe kabeere k'amazima ate nga kabwenkanya balime ekozesebwa.
If people now come and start destroying what has been built for years, you see, you are going to restart. And when you restart, it's not a good thing for the youth. The youth needs the development.
Ng'eggwanga liri mu kiseera kya kwetegekera kulonda kwa 2026, abavubuka n'abakulembeze b'amatendekero agatali gamu okwetooloola eggwanga babanguddwa ku ngeri gye bayinza okutangiramu obusambattuko so n'okufuna obukodyo obw'okugonjoola okusika omuguwa okubeera kuzzeewo.
The youth are like the backbone of this nation, and instead of having them rot in jails because of committing crimes during the electoral process, be empathetic enough to think that these youth have futures and try to engage them in the right campaigning strategies.
Even the young people should hold their leaders accountable. Instead of indulging in corruption, in violence, the kitu kidogo before I vote for you, how about you ask your leader, if I vote for you, what are you going to do for me? If we give you another term of office, what are you going to do for me? I voted you the previous term of office. This term of office, what's the new thing you're doing?
Ekitongole kya United Nations African Institute for the Prevention of Crime and the Treatment of Offenders be bategese omusomo guno.
Kakati ekibiina kya Democratic Party DP kiri mu kaweefube wa kweteekerateekera kalulu ka bonna aka 2026 ng'akadde konna ekibiina kya kufulumya olukalala lwabo abanaakiikirira oba abanaakikwatira bendera ku bifo by'ababaka ba Parliament. Mu kwogera kwe mu lukuŋŋaana lwa bannamawulire, omukulembeze wa DP Norbert Mao ayanjudde abamu ku bannakibiina abeegwanyiza ebifo by'obubaka bwa Parliament ebyenjawulo. Mao alabudde bannakibiina abatakkaanya na bukulembeze okwewala okuteekawo okusika omuguwa, era n'agamba nti ku mulundi guno bajja nakubateekako engassi mu misango. Mu ngeri y'emu atangaazizza ku by'okukola omukago n'ebibiina ebirala.
Tugenda kufulumya olukalala lw'abantu bonna betuwadde kaadi za DP ku level za local government. Ekyo tugenda kikola nga wiiki eno tenaba kuggwa. Ate oluvannyuma tufulumye n'olukalala lw'abagenda okwesimbawo ku bwa MP. Tukimanyi bulungi nti abamu babadde balowooza nti bwe batabeera mu DP ekibiina tekijja kutambula. Naye ndowooza mulaba nga bacandidates tulina bangi. Tubategeezezza nga bwe tulina agenda otukwatira ebbendera ku bwa MP mu district y'e Zombo West Nile. Tulina ebitusoomooza mu Democratic Party. Abamu balowooza nti woyingira ekibiina omulimo gwo gwa kuwakanya abakulembeze abakikulembera. Ekibiina kitegeeza nti mukaanya. Kati wotakaanya na bigenda mu maaso mu kibiina, lwaki weeyita munnakibiina? Njagala kulabula abo abeeyita abana DP. Olina okugondera amateeka ga DP, ogondere n'ebisalibwawo obukulembeze obuliko. Kibiina tekijja kutambulira ku birowoozo byo, kijja kutambulira ku constitution. Ky'oba olaba nti bannaffe abamu baatuwaabira embalala. Ku luno engeri kooti gyetuwadde cost mulina okutusasula sente ze twonoonye. Ze flag bearer wa Democratic Party kalulu k'obwa president. Ba delegates banonda. Ekyo kye kifo kyendimu.
Kakati ng'ebula wiiki emu yokka akakiiko k'eggwanga ak'ebyokulonda katandike okusunsula abeegwanyiza entebe y'obukulembeze bw'eggwanga. Bannakibiina kya National Resistance Movement NRM erubaga batudde okutema entoto ku butya bwe bagenda okwerekerako ssentebe waabwe Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ku kakiiko k'ebyokulonda. Katubirabe.
Abantu 5,000 okuva e Lubaga wokka nga district yaffe mu NRM 5,000. So far Kampala, Makindye, Nakawempe, Nakawa bonna tulina okwegattira ewamu. So far onsuubirawo abantu 3,000,000 ezigenda okubeerawo ekkololo, ezigenda okubeerawo ekisaawe kiyinza obutamala, naye mmanye ekkubo eryo lyonna ligenda kubeera lijjuddeko abantu. Era omwagalo w'abangi agenda kuyita era yerale yaffe egenda okusooka alina okubeera ne layini zonna, alina kubeera security. Era ngisaba ebeewo mu bungi, omwagalo w'abangi agenda kuva ku kumpi ku State House nga buli ekkubo gonna gajjuddeko bantu
nga tuteekawo omuggundo ogw'amaanyi nga tuwerekera chairman waffe ow'ekibiina ow'okuntikko General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni era tumaliriza okukola enteekateeka zonna tujja kikola Kampala yonna tugenda giggala yero okulaba nga tewali muntu asigalayo ffenna tugenda ekkololo entandikwa eyo etuwa amaanyi ag'okuwangula Kampala ku luwedde yatuva mu ngalo olw'ensonga nti tetwali bumu tetwalina strategy yonna ne ku luutu eno tufungiza okulaba nga Kampala tugikomyawo mu mikono gya NIRA.
Tugenda kulaba nti buli muntu era ekisaawe ky'ekkololo ku luno President tumusaba bw'ali ekisanja kino akigezze kyeyongereko obunene kubanga abantu tetulina bye tugenda bateeka. Disitulikiti endala zigenda kuleeta ate nga Kampala ffekka tumala okijjuza.
Ow'abakyala oba ow'abawala ffe twasoose mu
otyo awo wennyini UBC Leero twetooloolamu tukomawo n'ekitundu ekyokubiri.
Wangula school fees wa mwaka mulamba. Kyolina okukola sasula fees z'omwana wo ng'okozesa Momo. Nyiga akamunyenye emu 65 kamunyenye 8 noti akadaala. Londako namba 2 school pay. Londako namba 1 okusasula fees. Teekamu enamba y'omwana wo kw'osasulira fees n'omuwendo gwa ssente z'oyagala okusasula bw'omaliriza teekamu pin code yo. Aha, awujja kuba oyingidde butereevu mu kalulu k'okuwangula fees za mwaka mulamba.
Coffee Spirit, Simba Gin. Coffee Spirit, Simba Gin. Check out the cup. SMS the code. Wangule bilabo. Tulaga amanyi. Karuka sita wabuza.
Masaba maji. Masaba maji.
Bikole Masavu ne Premier Distilleries. Simply buy Coffee Spirit or Simba Gin. Check under the cap, send the code to 6688 and stand a chance to win border borders, tuk-tuks, cash, airtime, flat screens, mobile phones and a grand prize of 50 million Uganda shillings. This promotion is valid for a limited time only. Terms and conditions apply. Alcohol is not for sale to persons under 18. Please drink responsibly.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels, and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukota Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
Honorable Fred Biamukama, Minister of State for Works and Transport in charge of transport, invites you to the second phase of the 4-acre model campaign in Greater Bunyoro sub-region. The event will take place at Nalweyo Primary School Playground, Behimba Road, on Saturday, 20th September 2025 at 10 a.m. and will be graced by His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni. All residents, civil servants, and leaders from the districts that make up Greater Hoima, Greater Masindi, Greater Chibale, and neighboring areas are encouraged to attend in large numbers. This initiative, led by the President, aims to bring ordinary people into the money economy by showcasing farmers who have succeeded in the 1-acre model, 2-acre model, 3-acre model, and 4-acre model. Join local leaders and residents in learning how small land can be used to enhance food security and socio-economic growth. Don't miss this opportunity to witness the transformative impact on local communities.
Otukola bulungi okutwekuumirako nawe yakatweyungako tuli mu kitundu kyakubiri ekyamawulire gaffe aga UBC leero. Nzikiriza tweyongereyo n'abavubuka abawangalira mu bitundu ebitali bimu mu Kampala era nga bawagizi ba NRM balajanidde gavumenti ebayambe ng'edduukirira n'ebintu ebimu bye basobola okukozesa mu bizinesi zaabwe ntonotono. Ssentebe w'abavubuka bano abeegattira mu kibiina kya Kick Poverty Out of Youth Kampala Mutebi Yasin agamba nti olunaku lw'enkya beesunga okusisinkana Ssaabaminisita wa Uganda Rebina Nabbancha ku Growers e Kawempe nga batongoza enteekateeka yaabwe. Tusonyiweko emboozi eyo tugenda kuba tugikutuusaako mu maaso kaawo. Tusoose kweyongerayo ne bannayuganda obukadde 13 abeekeewandiisa okufuna endagamuntu kaadi akakadde kamu mu emitwalo 7 ze zaakafulumizibwa. Omusigire owakulira ekitongole kya NIRA Christopher Kantinti ekiruubirirwa ky'okuwandiisa abantu obukadde 18 kinaatera okutuukirira olw'okubanga n'abayizi bazzeeyo mu masomero. Kantinti okwogera bino abadde ku kitebe ky'ekibiina kino mu kukuza olunaku lw'ensi yonna olw'endagamuntu.
Uganda yegasse ku mawanga amalala mu nsi yonna okukuza olunaku olw'endagamuntu. Ab'ekitongole ekikwatibwako ebiwandiiko by'abantu NIRA ku mulundi guno babadde na bannamawulire bokka.
Tugezaako nnyo kye tusobola okulaba nti twakiivinga ekyo. Olwaleero tutudde ne media ne tubayitiramu bye tukola ki kye twagala okwakiivinga and therefore tubasaba nabo bwe bagenda ebweru bongere okwogera n'abantu okubabuulira lwaki endangamuntu yeetaagisa ne lwaki balina okugenda okwewandiisa okusobola okufuna services za gavumenti n'okusobola.
Abaddukanya NIRA bakozesezza omukisa guno okulambuza bannamawulire n'okunnyonnyola emitendera gye bayitamu okufulumya ndagamuntu. Mu mbeera y'emu bategeezezza ku bantu obukadde 13 abaakawandiisibwa okufuna ndagamuntu bakafulumyako akakadde kamu mu emitwalo 7.
Okulinyoonya endangamuntu baweza obukadde 10 n'okusobola. Namba sizigize bulungi naye bali 10.4 n'okusobola. So abaakeewandiisa bo bali milioni 2 n'emitwalo 4. Naye nga abasinga ab'okwewandiisa abapya baana bali wansi w'emyaka 10. Kati abo tugezaako nnyo okuengaginga Ministry ya Education etusobozesa okutuuka mu masomero.
Omusigire w'akulira NIRA Christopher Katinti agambye nti endagamuntu y'omuntu yenna ne bwe neebeera tennafuluma ajja kusobola okukozesa nnamba ye okulonda mu January wa 2026.
Endangamuntu kati ekibuuzo ekya EC nyinza obutasobola kukirinda. Ffe omulimu ogwaffe kuwandiisa ba citizens n'okubawa enamba, national identification number ne national identification card. Challenges.
Olunaku luno lukuzibwa mu nsi yonna bulinga 15 Septemba.
Mawulire ga UBC leero. Tukongeddeyo n'ekibiina kya Democratic Party DP emabegako bafunamu obutakkaanya ku ani alina okubakulemberamu bwe batyo ne beeyawulamu ebiwayi bibiri. Ekimu nga kiwakanya obukulembeze bwa Norbert Mao, ekirala nga kikiriziganya nabwo. Olwaleero ebiwayi byombi beesanze ku kitebe ky'akakiiko k'ebyokulonda gye babadde bayitiddwa okubakkaanyisa. Ekiwayi ekimu kyagala akakiiko kasazeemu Norbert Mao okuvuganya ku kifo ky'omukulembeze w'eggwanga. Wabula akulira akakiiko kano ak'ebyokulonda omulamuzi Simon Byabakama bano abategeezezza nga bw'awuliriza ensonga zaabwe zonna era n'abasuubiza okwekkaanya obujulizi bwe baleese alyoka abawa ensala ye.
Ensonga zaffe nnyingi zisobola kuzirambulula. Lwaki nkugambye tutwetaaga obudde bwa ssaawa 24 tutuule ekimu ku byo okusazaamu ebyo ebiteekateeka mwami Mao ne Sirale bayisa okuviira ddala eggulu ebibanywereza mu buyinza bwa DP n'ebisindikiriza abantu bagwa mu kibiina kya Democratic Party babiteese wano bagaba no babiyise kabere ng'amateeka amatuufu agafuga Democratic Party. Ekyokubiri, Electoral Commission obutalangirira mwami Mao n'olukiiko lwe
essaawa eno tuyidde ekizibu kubanga tuli mu kooti ate tuli wano batuyise batugamba mbu tebasobola kukolawo bayinza okulemererwa kubanga tuli mu kooti oba simanyi kyekitegeeza ndowooza bagamba tuveeyo mu kooti naye tebakyogedde instead bagambye ssebo tokkiriza kubawulira DP Nvundu bagibuuzizza tetulina even structures okuva mu village tetusobola kufieldinga candidates nga tetulina structures kakati abo ba candidates be banominating nga baba bajeewa tetulina structures balondayo bwe baagala ne banominatinga
anti omusango gulala gwe balese wano already bagugobye mu kooti embalala era badduse wano in the same process applying a call appeal so tulina abantu ng'emibiri giri busy tebalina just byakola wawula banyiivu tebalina nsonga okujjako kuba nti banyiivu ndowooza what is it pronouncing ze ku nsonga eno nti oba olina ensonga zotali mu mativu zimalire mu kibiina justice Sekana ya pronouncing n'abalamuzi abalala era n'omulamuzi embalala yakizeemu so wano kuba ffe tugondera amateeka ate lwakuba nti wali aboogera ku pate yaffe kwe kusalawo okujja wano
nze kinneewuunyisa nga munnamateeka kwe kulaba omuntu ng'agenze mu kooti n'esala omusango ate n'akwata ensonga ze zimu ate n'azikomyawo mu kakiiko k'ebyokulonda ng'akakiiko k'ebyokulonda akafudde kooti ate ejulirwamu ate nga yali badde agenda mu kooti ndala naye ffe tuli bamativu ng'abakulembeze ba DP abaliwo nti emisango gino temuli akalulu kaluma muntu buli yeesimba mu kalulu ne bakuwangula olumwa era nze mmanyi bamemba baffe abamu bakyalumwa olw'okuwangula mu kalulu akaali embalala
akakiiko kasazeewo nti kagenda kutuula kekeneenye obujulizi bwonna obukaleeteddwa kalyoke kasalemu ate kabuulira abo abaleese okwemulugunya ensalayo yaako.
Tweyongeddeyo ne Parliament esabye gavumenti naddala ng'eyita mu ministry ey'ekikula ky'abantu abakozi n'enkulaakulana ne ministry ey'ensonga az'omunda mu ggwanga okugunjaawo n'okunnyikiza amateeka agalungamya bannayuganda abakolera naddala mu nsi z'ebuwarabu. Kino kidiridde akatambi akayise ku mukutu gwa BBC nga kayolesa abawala bannayuganda abafiirwa obulamu bwabwe oluvannyuma lw'okutundibwa mu bikolwa eby'okwegadanga. Ababaka kino bakitadde ku bbula ly'emirimu eriri mu ggwanga naddala mu bavubuka ekibaviirako okugenda mu mawanga g'ebweru okunoonya bwe babeerawo. Nabyo katubifune.
Ku ntandikwa ya sabbiiti eno waliwo akatambi akafulumidde ku mikutu emigatta abantu nga kava ku mukutu ogwa TV ya Bungereza ya BBC akalaze nga bwe waliwo abawala abagambibwa okubeera bannayuganda abafiirwa obulamu bwabwe olw'okukabasanyizibwa n'okukakibwa kabozi k'ekikulu mu kitundu ky'e Dubai. Kino kyalese bannayuganda abamu mu bweraliikirivu ko n'okunyolwa wabula obuzibu ne babuteeka ku gavumenti nti oba oliawo yeesuddeyo gwa naggamba olw'obutafa ku bantu baayo.
This is a story that is on social media, and the man has actually been saying he's untouchable, that he is the police, he's the embassy, he's everything. And this is a Ugandan who has been doing this.
Kati tubadde tugamba gavumenti okusookera ddala ffe abaali badde tutereeza okulaba nti abaana bano babeera n'emirimu tegiriiwo. Gavumenti tukoze kisaanidde, bagenze bali eyo, mwenga gavumenti mukozeewo ki? Kubanga basigala bannayuganda eyo waliyo zi embassies eza Uganda. Kiki ekikoleddwa okulaba nti abantu baffe abagenda eyo tebatuuka mu buzibu buno?
Amyuka sipiika wa Paalamenti Thomas Tayebwa alaze obunyamivu engeri abaana bannayuganda gye batyobolebwamu mu katambi akafulumiziddwa n'asaba gavumenti okusitukiramu mu bwangu ddala ku nsonga eno.
We need to reopen that debate. We look into the issues, the plight of our Ugandan workers, especially the girls who need much more protection. Ugandan migrant workers, especially those who are in the Middle East. Say the minister should come and make a statement here, but what we would need is more of action.
Waliwo obwetaavu okubagawo amateeka ko n'enkola ezifuga embeera bannayuganda abakolera mu mawanga gano kwe balina okutambulira n'ababakozesa baleme kutyoboolebwa.
Naye ng'ekinyusa ekikulu kiri nti amawanga nga Philippine galina bannansi baago abasukka mu miliyoni 12 abakolera ebweru wa Philippine, naye balondoolwa era embeera welfare yaabwe eteekateekebwa ne we ziba kye bayita minimum salary omufiripayini akole waka alina kubanga asasula dola bina kudda waggulu. Mu Uganda omuntu afulumizibwa tewaliwo kye bayita minimum wage.
Ababaka bagamba nti ebbula ly'emirimu mu bavubuka kukyali kusoomozebwa kunene mu ggwanga.
Abaana tebalina mirimu ate ng'abamu ku bo basomye balina ebiwandiiko naye talina mulimu n'abalina emirimu betugamba nti ono alina omulimu gw'alina akasente kafuna akamala transport yekka tekuli za kulya tekuli za kusula kati bw'afuna chance okugenda ewalala abajja kgenda.
Gavumenti egamba nti okunoonyeza mu katambi akafulumiziddwa ku mukutu gwa BBC kukyagenda mu maaso wabula nga yo omubaka akiikirira abakozi Abdul Byakatonda aliko by'atangaazizza.
So government is already in action in terms of investigating the matter and making sure that we prevent this to happen even to other Ugandans.
The Labor Acceleration and Management Bill 2024, and we have done vigorous research with a number of economies including the Filipinos, and the bill really requires us to move so that at least your chair can grant us leave to ensure that at least the bill moves.
Nze Rebecca Nantongo ne Daniel Mugoya ku Parliament.
I'm going to allow you for it. I'll give you.
Mwebale nnyo bannaffe bwe tweyongerayo woofiisi y'embalala ey'ekitongole ky'ebyobutonde mu ggwanga NIRA wamu n'akulira ebyobutonde bw'ensi mu maka g'obwa President Wilberforce Tulyakira bakoze ekikwekweto ku bantu abeesenza ku nkingizi z'ennyanja Kacera esangibwa e Rakai, Kiruhura n'Isingiro. Mu kikwekweto kino bakutte era n'okubowa ebikozesebwa by'abantu be basanze nga beesenza mu lutobazi lw'ennyanja eno ne batandika okulimirako ekintu ekimenya amateeka. Kati befune
ekikwekweto ekikoleddwa okusengula abantu abeesenza mu lutobazi lw'ennyanja Kacera esangibwa mu kitundu eky'Erakai, Isingiro, Kiruhura eri ku byalo kuli Kalunga, Rushasha, Katetenga, Kisovu ne Nyaminengo. Eno gye basanze ng'abantu basimbye ebirime eby'enjawulo ku lubalama lw'ennyanja eno okuli emboga, ennyaanya, ebijanjaalo, kasooli, kalitunsi, emmwanyi wamu n'ebirime ebirala. Waliwo abatuuze abalabiddwako nga bagezaako okudduka oluvannyuma lw'okulaba abaserikale wamu n'abannema nga mu bano mwe mubadde n'omukyalo omukadde Esther Matama.
Nyoni ntiina kigambo omusirikale kumureeba mu miisho gandi nimutiina.
Abasangiddwa nga balima mu lutobazi bagamba nti bakimanyi nti kimenya mateeka n'ekiva ku kusoberwa kwe balina olw'okwagala okufuna we bajja engeri y'okubeerawo.
Atukutwahinga bija kutuvunaana twagera tishiika abaana b'amasomero kabatine fizi kandi katwayirirwe twabwina mizi kagenzere tumureka tukiyamuka fizi twashomesa abana
abanema bakatwitaho batumitinga twatuyagombora Kacera inga muki kasizoni kamwe basho bagira ki batwikiriza baraka district.
Bano banyonyodde abakulu nti ennyanja eno yamala kusenguka nga amazzi gakendedde we kutandika okulimira mu kitundu amazzi we gaakala.
Nga shini tutajinira mizi binga nitutukaza muyagenze nobasa kutemba mizi bakahinga iguru okubasa kutemba mizi ngo gahinga iguru tukahinga muyamara kugenda.
Wabula abalala basiimye ekikoleddwa kubanga balowooza nti ekyeya ekitawaanya ekitundu kyabwe kiva ku kutaataaganya ntobazi ne basaba gavumenti eyongera amaanyi mu bikwekweto ekikula kino.
Tusaba gavumenti etuyambeko abantu bano bave mu nnyanja kwegamba tulivo olw'embeera y'omusana.
Okusinziira ku Warren Kichoncho okuva mu nneme embalala abantu bakosezza nnyanja eno Kacera naye nga kati bagenda kuteekamu amaanyi mu kutangira abantu abagyesenzaako okulaba ng'embeera edda mu nteeko.
The people have encroached on the buffer zone, which is a very big challenge, but we have to bring the different stakeholders on board.
Wilberforce Tulyakira okuva maka gwa President awanjagidde abatuuze okukomya okwonoona obutonde kubanga be basinga okukosebwa awamu n'okufiirwa mu nkola ya kulya ggi kwesubya muwula.
Abantu bajingiridde bagirimyemu obutungulu, kabeji, emiti katutuusi basimbyemu emiti otubazi lona lukaze amazzi bagacanolinze kati abantu bakyalina bajja amazzi amalamu.
Oluvannyuma basomesezza abatuuze ku kabi awamu n'obulabe obuli mu kwonoona obutonde. Robert Nsubuga yakusakidde bino.
amawulire mangi ngetukuteekeddeteekedde mu mawulire gaffe ag'olulimi olungereza ku ssaawa 2 mu UBC Tonight gotasaanye kusubwa wano UBC leero tetugenda kusukkawo. Nze Shaidat Nasaku ne Elizabeth Nakakoni ku lwa bannaffe abakozesa obubonero atakumira mpeera kutukumire tusinkana olunaku olw'enkya akadde keekamu sula bulungi.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Jinshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Jinshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Each day at Mulago, Uganda's largest referral hospital, hundreds of patients come seeking care. In a country where respiratory diseases like tuberculosis remain a killer, Mulago's lung clinic is quietly expanding its tours. Inside these walls, a new procedure is helping doctors look deep into the patient's lungs. It's called a bronchoscopy. Today, we follow one young volunteer into that procedure room to see how this cutting-edge technology is raising hope even as staff struggle with limited budgets and aging equipment. Brian Esiru limes calmly, surrounded by a team of specialists. The mission? A bronchoscopy, an advanced procedure that explores the lungs with unmatched clarity. But this is no ordinary case. The young man on the table is a volunteer in a groundbreaking research study, one that could shape the future of tuberculosis prevention in Uganda. With the precision of science and the steadiness of years of training, the team navigates through narrow airways. They collect samples, vital, microscopic clues that could help formulate a better TB vaccine. And yet, behind the science lies something deeply human: courage. After the procedure, we sat down with a young volunteer, a high school student with no medical background, but a heart full of purpose.
It was 2016 when I got exposed to my brothers who had TB. Yeah, but for me, I never got TB because our elder bro had TB, and then the one who follows him also got TB. But we used to stay in the same house, but for me, I didn't get TB. Okay. Yeah, that's why since that time they were doing some operations, checking me why I didn't get TB. Yeah, up to now, I've never got TB. I was a little bit scared when I heard that they were going to make some tube passes through the nose, up to the lungs. I was a little bit scared. But then they used to tell me that I think it's not scaring. They will inject some medicine to nerve the places where the tube will pass, and then you don't feel any pain. Yeah.
So you didn't feel the pain as it was?
As the process they were injecting the medicine was something like irritating. But after they normalized.
So it was a simple procedure for you, you never felt it.
So yes, you can feel a little from the nose, but once it enters, you don't feel anything. Because of that medicine and the field, I think they inject, which make the tube to pass, to flow very well. Yeah.
What you did is a brave thing. It is a service to the nation. What really motivated you? Like, let me go and do this. Let me go and help out the people. Let me sacrifice myself and do this for the country. What motivated you?
What motivated me? Like, as they told me that if they do it and it goes very well, I'll be helping many people outside there. Yeah. And that thing, and then I said, let me go. I got the strength actually. And I said, let me go and do it so that I help somebody outside there. Yeah. Because they said that what they have got, they can use to make some medicines which can treat other people who have the same problem of TB.
Have you talked to any other individuals, your colleagues, that tried to scare you out of it, or was it your secret?
It was not my secret. Actually, I used to tell my friends at school and our neighbors. But they used to tell me now, what if you go there and you die from there? And then I said that, no, what they have told me, you won't die. And even I have some friends of mine who are nurses, doctors. I used to call them and then I said, by this process of bronchoscopy, can it kill someone? And they told me, no, it's just a simple thing. It does not even take more than 10 minutes.
How have you felt this experience? Did you at some point feel like running away?
No.
Or the nurses did a good job in?
Yeah, they did a good job.
Reassuring you it will be okay.
And even I came with the doctors I'm used to. That thing motivated me of not getting scared of seeing new faces. Yeah, it motivated me.
Right.
That's why I was strong.
In a country where youth often fight for visibility, his voice echoes quietly but powerfully. And this is where hope lives and thrives.
We are interested to know what exactly were you investigating?
Yeah, the procedure you witnessed was is called bronchoscopy. Bronchoscopy is really introducing a tube in the lungs to usually investigate disease. Sometimes it can be used for treatment as well if something is blocking your airway. But this particular research is a collaboration between Makerere, of course we are premised in Mulago, and several other universities, Cape Town, Imperial College, London, Harvard, University of Pittsburgh, where they are investigating why some people get tuberculosis and other people do not get tuberculosis.
Oh.
Yes. The answer lies with the body immunity. There are certain people, despite being exposed to TB germs, they don't fall sick. Right. If we knew why, then we would get the reason, we would be able to discover a vaccine which can be able to effectively prevent against TB.
So the research is about ultimately discovering a vaccine for TB.
Hopefully, to understand how the body protects itself from TB. There are certain people who, despite being exposed, they don't. Because there's a way the body reacts to TB. When you get exposed to TB, there are some people who eliminate it before it even enters the body. There are some people where it enters the body and the body's immunity contains it. But there are some people, when they get TB, it may progress and you fall sick and you get disease. But there are some in whom the bacterium is contained. Eventually, during the course of your life, maybe 5 to 8% of these people may still get TB. So it's kind of a new area of understanding to see how TB behaves and how our body behaves in protecting itself against tuberculosis.
All right. Yeah. Yes, doctor. Still along the same lines, when does somebody, or when do you, as the medical personnel, point out that this individual needs the procedure of bronchoscopy?
Yeah, that's a good question, because there are many indications for bronchoscopy. Usually so we're going to talk about clinical indications, because for the case you witnessed, he didn't need bronchoscopy. He was a volunteer to contribute to the understanding of TB as a disease. But in the hospital setting, many times these are people who are being treated and you don't understand the lung condition they are having. For example, they have an infection and they're on antibiotics, they are not responding, or they have an infection, you have investigated for tuberculosis, you don't find it, but you still think it may be TB. Or sometimes you suspect a cancer. And of course, for this, the cancer should be in the airways. Because if this cancer is far away from the airway, bronchoscopy will not be able to tell you. But we normally do a chest X-ray before, and if the X-ray shows some abnormality, then you can do bronchoscopy or a CT scan of the chest. There are sometimes people who, for example, cough blood, because that is one of the important indications for bronchoscopy, because you need to know what the cause is and where the blood is coming from. Because if it is repeated, if it's from one section of the lung, of course, if you can identify it, then the surgeons can probably go and remove that section, and the person may actually heal. Yeah, so there are many such indications, and Those are really just a few of them. Sometimes there can be a foreign body in the lung, like somebody swallows maybe a bead or something. So there are gadgets with which you can actually retrieve that gadget from the lung. Because if you swallow an object, it goes in the airways and blocks off that airway, so that airway is not available for ventilation, and it will collapse, because the lung is just like, it's really like a sponge. And if you block and no air goes in, that part will collapse. So foreign body removal, yeah. But yeah, I think those are some of the indications, and yeah, that we commonly would see.
So what does it take for, in terms of cost at Mulago, when somebody needs a bronchoscopy treatment?
Well, the hospital sets certain standard fees, which the persons would certainly pay, and many of these go towards procurement, like of the supplies, as you see, anesthetic material, disinfectants, protective clothing, because the health workers also have to be protected, because during bronchoscopy you generate aerosols, and these aerosols need to be extracted from the room, such that, for example, the person has an infectious condition, that the health workers do not get infected.
The procedure, as I saw, looks both sophisticated and complex. Are there any challenges, both in human resource or any other challenges in terms of infrastructure, in order to be able to carry out such procedure more successfully?
Yes, indeed, the bronchoscopy suite that you just saw, it's really the product of collaborative work between Mulago, Makerere, and several other institutions. But the equipment that you notice is really not new, but it's refurbished, but it's functioning. And bronchoscopy equipment are quite costly. But we have presented our request to the administration. I'm sure they're looking for ways of securing such equipment. But the second bit is the availability of human resource for training, because we need more specialists trained in the area, because bronchoscopy is such a wide area, and one may specialize in only one particular area. There's so much that it can do. Now that our Cancer Institute is vibrant, lung cancer is one of the commonest conditions at the Cancer Institute. I would think they would be interested in also looking at bronchoscopy from the oncology perspective. So there's a lot we can do, but we need certainly the human resource structure, both from nursing, as you see, the preparation of the participant or the patient for the procedure is most important. If you do not prepare them well, then you will not have a successful procedure, because you need an anesthesiologist who knows, you need a technician, you need a nurse, so you need a team around. And sometimes you can get emergencies as you do this procedure, so you may need to get help from other areas, for example, from ENT and other specialties.
What does Mulago handle per day or per week or per month in terms of patients, bronchoscopy cases?
As we said, bronchoscopy, there has to be a clear indication. So the load at this point is not very huge, but usually the patient, you need to do the procedure for somebody who really needs it. So you need to make sure that there's no other way a diagnosis can be made other than bronchoscopy. Of course, as you see, it is a procedure that goes into the airway, and you compete with the patients for gas exchange. So it's not something we do. Usually 1 or 2 a week is what we do. But if there are indications, we can easily do it. But also we need to train more staff, because some of the staff we used were research staff. They have other research activity, but we need core hospital team trained to do that at all times.
All right, Doctor. What should we do as the public in order for us not to be candidates of that procedure?
We have learned a lot over time. You see, lung, particularly as a physician, mostly I focus on infectious diseases. So, of course, need to have good respiratory hygiene. Of course, one, if you are coughing or have issues with breathing, you need to seek attention early. You need to use maybe a mask if you are unwell, and use well-ventilated environments. Of course, many of the diseases we deal with are poverty-related diseases. So you need to improve the economic situation of the public to be able to prevent diseases like tuberculosis and so on.
From advanced diagnostics to emergency life-saving interventions, the bronchoscope is quietly transforming care inside Mulago. Lung-related illnesses remain one of Uganda's deadliest diseases. But gone are the days of guesswork and delay. Today, thanks to tools like bronchoscopy, doctors are diagnosing earlier and treating faster.
We set up this unit and in collaborations with Mulago Hospital and the Infectious Disease Research Collaboration. In brief, it is IDRC. So, and we partner with Case Western Reserve University, who are much interested in research, and also we have the IDRC also. It is basically for research. So the unit was set up basically because of the need to serve our population who have respiratory issues. And so we've been around since 2010, and this unit here in Mulago was set up about a year ago, but starting to be operationalized within this year. The participant we had is for research purposes. So in particular, these are people who have been exposed to TB before. And the study is looking out whether the TB they were exposed to has an effect on their lungs and about their health. So there are some preliminary tests that are done to see how their lungs are doing. They test for COVID, they do some blood tests. And of course, if you find there's anything abnormal, then you help them as need. But letting aside the research component of it, we also work on the patients who are on the ward. So we do get our patients from the medical wards on Mulago Hospital. We do get referrals from other hospitals for those who find they need bronchoscopy. Because ideally in Uganda, this is the first public hospital that has a bronchoscopy unit. And before, it used to be only in Mulago that you have bronchoscopy. But I think even the other private centers now may be having, but this is the one that is fully operational. What makes it unique is it has what we call a negative pressure setup.
His words are a reminder that even the most brilliant tools need support to stay alive and saving lives.
The air in the room is purified, recycled every after 20 minutes. In a way, we are preventing infections to us, the team who is working with the patient, as well as also the patient getting other infections from. So it is both the research benefiting as well as the population also benefiting from the same.
And you said that sometimes you get referrals from other hospitals. And don't you get overwhelmed numbers when it comes to numbers of the patients and people that you're supposed to handle?
Yes, for now, we've not yet been overwhelmed, I would say. One is we still need to air out and let the public know about the presence of this service. So we may have doctors somewhere who may know the patient may need, but maybe they are not aware that the service is here. But ever since we started, the numbers have been gradually increasing. But we are trying to get in new members on board. We need more nurses to come on board. We need doctors to come on board. And also we have other staff that we need. But I'm sure we still can be able to handle.
Every hallway here carries stories of loss, of healing, of possibility. Uganda's biggest hospital is not just a referral center. It is a beacon for regional health and a lab for the future. And perhaps that's the greatest promise of this place, that when the next child coughs, there will be more than just medicine waiting. There will be knowledge and readiness and care. In the lungs of Ugandans, science whispers a new song. At Mulago, breath is not just survival. It is the beginning of something bold.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Brought to you by youth, elderly, and persons with disabilities. It's time to choose our leaders. Let's show up and participate in the special interest group elections. Starting June through August this year. Your vote, your voice. My vote, my voice. This message is brought to you by the Uganda Electoral Commission.
A very good evening to you all and welcome to News Tonight here on UBC TV this Tuesday, the 16th day of September 2025. But first, let's have a look at our top stories.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
A modern science-led society. Parliament asks government to generate and implement bilateral labor agreements to protect Ugandan migrant workers working in UAE. The Democratic Party rolls out the final list of party members vying for the party flag as members of Parliament. And in sports, third annual Corporate Run 2025 launched in Kampala to run for expectant mothers.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Hello there and welcome once again. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcasting House here on Nile Avenue. On sign language, it is Sainyomo Yusuf and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. Now, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has pledged his full support to Toro Kingdom's ambitious agricultural and youth empowerment programs, describing them as a timely intervention to transform livelihoods at the grassroots level. The President was meeting His Majesty King Oyo Nyimba Kabambe Iguru Rukidi IV and his delegation at State House Entebbe on Monday, September 15th, 2025. The Toro royal family was represented by Queen Mother Best Kemgisa Akiki and Princess Ruth Komuntale Akiki. Others in attendance were the Toro Kingdom Prime Minister, Right Honorable Calvin Armstrong Ruomide, and senior government officials, including the Minister of State for Youth and Children, Honorable Balam Barugahara. Presenting the kingdom's vision, Prime Minister Ruomide outlined a robust plan targeting Toro's 9 counties with agriculture and youth-centered programs. The initiative includes the establishment of coffee and cocoa nursery beds, demonstration gardens, and hatcheries in all 9 counties. Meanwhile, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has urged engineers in Africa to build a modern science-led society which prioritizes science, technology and innovation for the growth and development of the African continent. This was contained in his speech delivered by the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Annette Among, at the official opening of the 11th African Engineering Week and 9th African Engineering Conference held in Uganda at Speak Resort, Munyonyo. We have more in this story.
Hundreds of delegates from over 20 countries across Africa and beyond have gathered in Kampala to open opportunities for cross-border collaboration, knowledge sharing, technology transfer, resource mobilization across the continent in the field of engineering. The 11th UNESCO Africa Engineering Week and the 9th African Engineering Conference, hosted by the Uganda Institution of Professional Engineers, aims at bringing together engineers, academics, industry leaders, policymakers, students and innovators.
Honorable Minister, where our engineering professionals, our innovators come up with all the ideas, but the take-up is not there, such that some of them end up selling their solutions out of the continent and being exploited. And that is something we ought to protect.
We extend our request to His Excellency such that our flagship projects of the Technology House will come to life.
Representing the President at the official opening of the event was the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, who first toured the stalls of exhibitors, who showcased the different innovative and technological displays. In his message read by the Speaker, President Museveni implored the tremendous role played by engineers in Africa.
I recognize the critical role engineers play in this world and in this country. They play a role in human development and advancement.
Museveni furthermore urged the engineers in the continent to establish a modern-led science, innovative and technology-driven society during this 4th stage of industrial revolution.
And the society itself must metamorphose into a middle-class, skilled working class one, running a fully monetized economy of our 4 sectors of commercial agriculture, industries, science, and ICT, in addition to the public service, that is government development, departments.
According to the day's exhibitors, there is a stronger push to integrate STEM education, innovation, capacity building and participation of younger engineers and women.
I'm very happy, first of all, to attend this as a woman engineer, but also as somebody who advocates for girls to join engineering. So we at FAWE Uganda, we are so much for anything STEM because we are promoting girls to join the STEM world so much. Currently, we have an ongoing scholarship by the MasterCard Foundation where we are supporting 700 girls annually and a total of about 1,800 girls.
Meanwhile, Randy Water, a South African water utility, and Uganda's National Water and Storage Corporation have signed a memorandum of understanding to enable both the countries benchmark from each other.
To be able to work together to help our sister companies, water utilities, where we think that will be promoting South-to-South cooperation. So it's a very important document, it's a very important cooperation, and I'm very happy we have signed it today.
What we have noticed is that as a continent, in terms of sustainable development goals, South Africa and of course, both North and South is lagging behind in terms of the achievement of those goals. We believe that through this partnership, we'll be able to deal with water and sanitation to achieve the 2030 Millennium Development Goals.
The opening ceremony was attended by speakers from the East African member states, representatives from Africa, EALA members, ministers from Uganda and across among other delegates from Africa and beyond. Amwaiva Njuko for UBC.
Hotel Workers Union has started advocating for the rights of migrant domestic workers working in the Middle East. The union says the migrant domestic workers often face severe challenges, including confinement to their employers' homes, long working hours, and lack of access to basic rights. Reports from returnees indicate physical and psychological abuse, verbal insults, assault, and sexual harassment.
Migrant domestic workers often suffer silently for fear of retaliation or deportation. Most are subjected to the kafala system where they experience confiscation of their passports, restrictions on movement, and limited access to communication facilities.
As you are aware, migrant domestic workers face numerous challenges from exploitative labor practices to lack of access to social protection. You are also aware of the kafala system that is majorly prevalent in those areas of the receiving countries, that is in the Middle East. It exemplifies those challenges, restrictions of workers' mobility, and that leave them vulnerable to so many issues and all concerns.
The Hotel Union, supported by the Friedrich Ebert Stiftung, has started an advocacy and information dissemination on the rights of migrant domestic workers.
And I just want to draw your attention to an investigative report that was actually published by the BBC exposing a ring of sex traffickers in the United Arab Emirates, run by a Ugandan apparently, and exploiting Ugandan young women. Some of them have actually not only suffered but died under mysterious circumstances. It shows that it is very timely to publish this handbook today, and we wish that it will support and bring help to those migrant workers. 70% of them are actually working as domestic workers, others are working as drivers or in other.
They have launched communication materials in English, Rinyakitara, Luo and Ateso to provide knowledge and skills for workers to navigate complex issues and access justice. Joan N. Murungi, Clement Wangira for UBC.
The Democratic Party, DP, has rolled out the final list of party members vying for the party flag as members of parliament in preparation for the 2026 elections. DP President General Norbert Mao advised aggrieved party members to avoid misunderstandings with the party and promised to demand costs from the court case DP1 against them following a court judgment in the party's favor. He also distanced himself from claims of a possible coalition with the Forum for Democratic Change, FDC.
The complete list of nominated candidates is going to be made public within this week. That is for the local councils. Thereafter, we shall publish the list of those who are going to vie for parliament. I want to talk about some developments in terms of the differences we have in the party. First, a political party is an association of those who agree. I don't know why people want to go to a political party in order to disagree. The cases that don't exist, they have nothing to waste court's time. This time we are going to ask those who have been suing the party to pay costs. We have always been forgiving them, and to discuss whether Mao and DP will support Nandala Mafabi so that Mao becomes a member of parliament. Chechi Pia. I have already been an MP.
Oye! Oye! DP oye! Oye!
An NRM pressure group, Gen Z for M7, has launched a countrywide peaceful election campaign ahead of the 2026 general elections. The coordinator, Israel Chadisima, told the media that the campaign targets creating awareness on the dangers of violence among youth at border stages.
Gen Z for Gen 7, connecting generations for progress. Gen Z for peaceful elections. Our movement, Gen Z for Gen 7, is about connecting generations for progress. We are committed to mobilizing our peers to safeguard the stability of our nation and to ensure the progress achieved is not lost. I repeat it. We are mobilizing our peers to safeguard the stability of our nation and ensure that the progress achieved is not lost, hence protecting the gains by NRM. In this spirit today, during this press conference, I officially launch our Gen Z Peaceful Elections Drive, a national-wide call to action that will see us engage schools, universities, border stages, digital platforms and communities, and our goal is to remind every Ugandan that peace is the most powerful tool we have to protect our opportunities and shape our future. As we prepare for the 2026 elections, we rally behind the leadership and vision of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, because his ideology has proven that peace is the true driver of opportunity. For us, this is not just politics. This is us protecting our future. On behalf of Gen Z, I call upon all Ugandans, let us embrace peaceful elections. Let us participate in building our country, and let us stand united in safeguarding the gains that NRM has made and His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has achieved for our nation. For Gen Z, peace is wealth, unity is strong, and stability is health. With Museveni's principles, our guide, we shall walk boldly side by side. Uganda is our home, peace is our chance, and the future is in our hands. I thank you very much.
Gen Z for Gen 7 there. Now, the NRM leaders in Lubaga are preparing for the nomination of party chairman and president Yoweri Kaguta Museveni on Tuesday, the 23rd of September, as their flag bearer for the 2026 elections.
On Tuesday, September 23rd, the NRM chairman, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, will be nominated at the Electoral Commission to contest for presidency during the 2026 general elections. NRM leaders in Lubaga, led by their chairman, Kamuntu Semakula Majembere, have started making arrangements to escort President Museveni to the Electoral Commission offices.
We are preparing our president so that he's turning back his papers on 23rd. Now I like to invite all Ugandans to join us at Kololo Playground so that we can celebrate His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda.
The party leaders in Lubaga plan to mobilize members to support Museveni during the nomination process.
Or even ghettos, but there is other peoples they can join us saying that they want to behave badly, saying that the NRM is the one who be behaving badly. Now, other parties, I like to warn them so that let them join us and warning them not making indiscipline on our rallies, so that you want to saying that they are insuming NRM when they are just want to use indiscipline.
In the same preparations meeting, NRM members who lost in previous elections have been urged to support their flag bearers and avoid running as independents. When over, it will be Museveni's 7th term bid as president of Uganda. Lydia Chomkama and Joseph Muyingo, UBC News.
Over 80 youth and student leaders across the country have trained as peace ambassadors ahead of the 2026 general elections. The training, organized by the United Nations African Institute for the Prevention of Crime and the Treatment of Offenders, are focused on equipping participants with violence prevention strategies and conflict management skills for the crucial electoral period. Charlotte Amuge reports.
Previous elections in Uganda have been marred by violence, intrigue and electoral malpractice. Young people are often at the center of the malpractice.
Can we single out the misleaders? The people who are sowing seeds of discord, seeds of violence conduct in our youth, they should be singled out. The youth apparently, in many instances, are not merely perpetrators. They are not the perpetrators of violence. They are victims of violence. So as in that regard, therefore, we should view them as people we need to understand, people we need to listen to, people we need to encourage and lure away from these people, from these other groups or other people who want to use them for their selfish ends.
This is a time for politicians to avoid exploiting youth, but instead invest and create opportunities for social and economic development.
Politics is not violence. Politics is the share of ideas, the ideas to build the country, to develop the country. Because if Uganda is here, Uganda has not started everything now. Uganda has started everything long ago, and they are building. If people now come and start destroying what has been built for years, you see, you are going to restart. And when you restart, it's not a good thing for the youth. The youth needs the development, because without development, you cannot get a good employment for the youth.
As we go for the 2026 general elections, we need peace in our country. Peace is the primary driver of all the socio-economic activities that we undertake. Peace is the critical foundation for a peaceful and tranquil existence of the people of Uganda in their country.
As the 2026 elections close in, youth and university leaders are empowered as peace ambassadors and equipped with conflict resolution tools and strategies for responsible digital engagement, targeting preventing election violence.
The youth are like the backbone of this nation, and instead of having them rot in jails because of committing crimes during the electoral process, be empathetic enough to think that these youth have futures and try to engage them in the right campaigning strategies.
Even the young people should hold their leaders accountable. Instead of indulging in corruption, in violence, the kitu kidogo before I vote for you, how about you ask your leader, if I vote for you, what are you going to do for me? If we give you another term of office, what are you going to do for me? I voted you the previous term of office. This term of office, what's the new thing you're doing?
The United Nations Institute for the Prevention of Crime and the Treatment of Offenders promotes rule of law, combats crime, and addresses socio-economic development. Charlotte Amuge for UBC News.
News Tonight now takes a short break, but we'll be returning with much more. Do keep it here.
Big thing about the MTN Super. Wali yakapia musite wali yakapia. Wali yakapia. MTN kabo de super mustairo mpia. The new kabode smartphone nebya kabibyonna. MTN kabode super mustairo mpya. The new kabode smartphone nebya kabibyonna.
Get the new Kabode Super smartphone and enjoy 16 GB free. Start with a deposit of only 45,000 Uganda shillings and pay the rest mpola in daily installments of less than 1K. You can also make weekly and monthly installments. Together, our vibes are unstoppable. Terms and conditions apply.
MTN.
MTN is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission.
At UNOC, we believe in safety.
Revered as the patrons of the wild, my horn stood tall, announcing my presence among Africa's Big Five. Yet, with all my strength, I struggled to survive. Then Uganda Wildlife Authority gave us something, a safe home at the Ziwa Rhino Sanctuary. And here we begin to thrive again. Today, we are 48 members strong, with 17 cows, ready to take our unique story into the future. This is your lifetime opportunity to name a rhino, and with it, find the conservation efforts that keep our story alive. For more information, visit our website, www.ugandawildlifeauthority.org.
No matter how far we go, home is always in our hearts, but support shouldn't come with struggle. With Wendy Mobile Wallet and Western Union, money now moves in real time from around the world straight to your pocket.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. 1,700,000 identification cards have been printed so far. 13 million Ugandans have been registered. NIRA Acting Executive Director Christopher Kantinti told the media that the target of registering 18 million people will soon be achieved when students are back to school. Kantinti was speaking during the International Identification Day celebrations at the NIRA head offices in Kampala.
Uganda has joined the world to commemorate the International Identification Day. In Kampala City, the management of NIRA took journalists around their offices, explaining the processes it takes to print an ID, and gave an update on the status of the ongoing mass enrollment exercise with 1.7 million IDs ready.
We have registered up to 10, we have renewed cards of up to 10 million citizens, and we have registered new people of up to 2.4 million. So the exercise continues, it has not stopped. It continues. Our targets were renewing cards of up to 15.8 million and registering citizens of up to 17.8 million. Now, the challenge is children have gone out of school. The biggest population that we target to register are children, and they were out of school. So we are now organizing with Ministry of Education now that school has resumed.
The Acting Executive Director of NIRA, Christopher Kantinti, says if one's ID is not ready before elections, the national identification number will be used for voting next year.
Every voter on the register of EC has a need. The basic requirement is you should be registered with a national identification number. The ID is the document that helps you to identify yourself when you're asked to present who you are. then the ID is what you present. So long as you have the need and you have opted to vote.
The International Identification Day, celebrated every 16th September, is for NIRA to reflect and re-energize commitment to their mandate.
International ID Day is celebrated on the 16th of September across the world. It basically means that we commemorate it actually to make sure that everybody is aware that identity is a right. And also there are millennium goals which require us to have identity for all by the year 2030. So we strive to achieve that.
Joan Murungi, Philip Aguta, for UBC News.
Uganda's National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA, has set camp in the United Kingdom as its first stop in taking services to the diaspora. Take a watch.
A team from the Ministry of Internal Affairs, National Citizens and Immigration Control is in the United Kingdom to disseminate the national migration policy.
I'm glad to have an opportunity to register Ugandans in diaspora. I am aware that you have had severe challenges with the NIRA service, and the reason we are here is to address your pains and attempt to improve our service where you are concerned. We invite you to renew and register. To register, you will require 1, to fill a form, Form 3. It's available on our website, or you can do pre-registration online. 2, you will need an identification from a relative who is a direct descendant of your grandfather.
This policy that was recently approved by Cabinet is a comprehensive government mechanism to harness the gains of migration and minimize negative effects. The mission is to renew, register or replace key documents like national identity cards and passports.
So we ask everyone to come. The services are here. These are free of charge. The renewal of your national ID is free of charge. You don't have to pay anything. The only time when you have to pay is when you have lost your national ID, your ID is damaged, or you need to change your particulars in your national ID. That's when you pay, and the fee is prescribed at 200,000 Uganda shillings. But other than that, new applicants are welcome, including dependents, those who below the age of 18, whereas before we were only registering adults of 18 years and above. Now this time around, we are also registering dependents, those below the age of 18.
When the NIRA team returns to Uganda, the exercise will continue for a while at the Uganda High Commission at Trafalgar Square in London.
For the various interchanges so that we can really attract the diaspora to have confidence and meet the new system, so that the new system that is now set up at the Uganda High Commission London for processing their NIRA national ID cards. So we look forward to welcoming all the diaspora to come to the Uganda High Commission London in the next few months ahead, to come as quickly as possible as the new equipment are now installed.
After London, the mass registration that has been well embraced will move to Manchester City this Friday till Sunday.
John Barnes, Centamo reporting there. Now let's come back to Uganda and we go straight to Karamoja, where government in partnership with the World Food Programme and Lions Club International has rolled out a new initiative to tackle malnutrition and improve school enrollment in the Karamoja sub-region. Flagged off during the Karamoja Cultural Festival 2025, Minister of State for Gender and Culture, Peace Butuzo, stated the relevance of integrating healthy feeding to keep children in school. Mary Namkose gives us more.
The Nutri-School bus is a mobile learning hub designed to sensitize communities on the importance of school feeding programs. Minister of State for Gender and Culture, Peace Butuzo, says the initiative seeks to fight hunger while